Chosen one, you didn't stumble here. You were summoned. There's a reason your eyes are on these words, a reason your spirit feels that quiet electricity even as you read. This is your moment, not just to hear something inspiring, but to receive a confirmation that heaven has already been whispering to you in secret. You are not ordinary. You've been carrying too much light, too much weight, too much promise to stay where you are. And deep down, you already know it. You've felt the restlessness, the inner stirring that keeps you awake at night. That is not doubt, that is destiny knocking. This is your sign that the shift you've sensed is real. You are not just waiting for change, you are the change. There is a land, a place, a realm that has been prepared for you. One that recognizes the sound of your spirit and the strength you carry. And right now, heaven is aligning everything to get you there. So take a deep breath. Straighten your shoulders. You've survived too much to shrink now. You've grown too much to settle now. You were never meant to blend in. You were meant to lead the way. What's about to unfold is bigger than you imagined, but it was always yours. This is your time to rise, your time to move, your time to step into what was written with your name on it before you even arrived here. You are seen, you are chosen, and you are ready. Let's begin looking for purpose and peace. Hit subscribe and start the journey. There's a reason you feel the weight of what you carry. It was never meant to be ordinary. What rests on your life was chosen with precision, assigned long before you understood its depth. It didn't land on you by coincidence. It is rare, deliberate, and costly in ways others will never comprehend. You've been entrusted with something luminous that echoes through generations. Your being carries a current that only the unseen realm could design. But here is the sobering truth. Not every space can sustain what you bear. Not every room has the air your calling needs to breathe. Just as seeds wither in barren ground, your gift falters in places thick with apathy, dishonor, and disbelief. What you've mistaken for personal failure has often been environmental suffocation. That's why what rests on you demands alignment, not just with purpose, but with the soil beneath your feet. Your capacity is not diminished. Your surroundings have been incompatible. Where you are placed determines how your gift unfolds. In the wrong hands, it feels heavy and misunderstood, but in the right place, among those who honor it and believe, it magnifies and reshapes everything it touches. The strain you've felt lately isn't always attack. Sometimes it's the whisper that you've outgrown the place you've been. Make your impact eternal. Join now and be a light in someone's darkness. That discomfort is not rejection. It is an invitation. It is the signal to release what has expired before it swallows your expansion. Staying put in stale spaces leaks your strength and ties your hands. What you carry was never meant to remain in corners that do not see it, to shrink in silence just to appease comfort. What rests on you needs more, not more attention, but more clarity, more alignment, more courage to walk where your spirit is welcomed and your calling is cultivated. If you stay too long in rooms that cannot hold you, you will begin to feel yourself dim. And you were never meant to dim. You were meant to step into arenas that rise to meet what you carry. This is not pride. This is preparation. This is the season where the scene hasn't changed yet, but the season has. The weight you feel in certain relationships, roles, and cities is not a flaw in you. It's the misalignment of where you've already outgrown. And if you insist on dragging what was never meant to continue with you, your strength will spill trying to hold it all together. What you carry asks more of you now. More trust, more willingness to leave where you've been. Don't cling to settings that dishonor your evolution. Don't remain where you're merely tolerated instead of ignited. What rests on you calls for rooms that recognize it, people who refresh it, and a path that stretches it into its full measure. You've carried your gift long enough in silence, long enough among those who doubt it. Now it's time to move. Not into smaller spaces to fit in, but into places vast enough to fit all of you. This time, you won't bend to fit the room. This time, the room will be built to hold you if your heart overflows with divine love. Now is the moment to let it shine. Click the super thank you button on YouTube and give $50 or more to help carry God's light to others. Your gift will bless not only your life, but countless others. You are part of His sacred plan. Your kindness may be the answer to someone's prayer. Share your blessings and honor His kingdom. May His grace guide you always. There comes a moment when you can no longer deny what your soul already knows, that you don't belong where you've been standing. You've tried to adjust. You've dimmed your brilliance so others wouldn't flinch. You've convinced yourself to wait it out, to find comfort in the familiar. But deep inside, something louder keeps whispering. This chapter can't contain what's next. What once sheltered you now feels too narrow. What once felt like belonging now feels like a cage. You haven't outgrown people as much as you've outgrown the patterns that once defined you. And that realization isn't a punishment. It's proof that elevation is close. The place you're leaving already gave you what it was designed to give. It shaped you, tested you, and revealed just how much you carry. But it was only ever a passage, never a destination. The grace that covered that chapter is lifting now, and you can feel it in your body, in your thoughts, in the way nothing seems to satisfy anymore. What used to excite you feels empty. What used to feel safe feels suffocating. That unease you feel isn't failure, it's direction. It's the gentle push that comes when the path ahead has already been prepared. You won't always have the full picture. You won't always know the coordinates. But you've been given enough to start walking. The growing pressure, the closing doors, the restlessness that wakes you at night. These are not coincidences. They're signals. They're heaven's way of saying you've already outlived the version of yourself that fit here. You're still physically present, but your spirit has already moved ahead. And that gap is what you're feeling now. You weren't born to stay small. You weren't chosen to remain stuck. You weren't entrusted with vision only to circle the same ground forever. What's rising inside you is bigger than what this place can hold. Make your impact eternal. Join now and be a light in someone's darkness. If you linger too long in a space that can't handle your expansion, you risk stalling your own growth. What served you once now slows you. What fed you once now drains you. The longer you pretend it still fits, the heavier it feels. When the time comes to leave, it's not about walking away in anger. It's about walking forward in trust. Not out of fear, but out of obedience. If you wait for everything to collapse before you move, you make the journey harder than it needs to be. But the moment you step, everything shifts. Doors you couldn't force open begin to swing. Paths that were hidden start to clear. This is not merely a goodbye, it's a graduation. You are crossing into terrain that honors the fullness of who you've become. Where you're going will not ask you to shrink, to hide, to downplay yourself. Where you're going will stretch you into your next. Stop apologizing for evolving. Stop forcing yourself to fit into something your spirit has already outgrown. You've been faithful to what was. Now it's time to be faithful to what is coming. The place you're leaving can't hold your next level. The place ahead was designed to call you into it, and it's ready for you to arrive. There's a reason you felt that quiet pull, that sense that you're being summoned elsewhere. Where you are may have served you for a season, but the fullness of what you carry was never meant to remain confined. Purpose is not just a call, it's a placement. It doesn't simply live in your hands. It breathes in the ground beneath your feet. Just as a masterpiece needs the right canvas, what's inside you needs the right setting to unfold. What was promised to you isn't floating in the abstract. It already has borders, contours, and coordinates waiting for you to arrive. Your next chapter is tied to more than a spiritual dimension. It's anchored in a tangible location where what you carry won't just survive, but thrive. There are regions where your presence is already anticipated. Spaces where your spirit is recognized the moment you step in. There's a landscape designed to mirror what you hold, where your gift stops feeling like a burden and starts to feel like a key. That place already exists, and its soil is waiting to respond to your obedience. Remaining where you've always been can feel easier, but the cost of staying is stagnation. Some places are too confined for what you're becoming. Some climates are incompatible with the frequency you emit. That's why doors closed. That's why the air began to feel heavy and the room started shrinking. You've been standing in a territory that doesn't speak your language anymore. If your heart overflows with divine love, now is the moment to let it shine. Click the super thank you button on YouTube and give $50 or more to help carry God's light to others. Your gift will bless not only your life, but countless others. You are part of His sacred plan. Your kindness may be the answer to someone's prayer. Share your blessings and honor His kingdom. May His grace guide you always. When the divine orchestrates movement, it doesn't only guide your steps, it goes ahead of you, laying out encounters you couldn't manufacture. There are conversations, alignments, and opportunities that will never materialize until you stand in the place meant to hold them. When your location and your spirit are in harmony, acceleration happens without explanation. You won't need applause, titles, or endorsements. The right space recognizes you before you explain yourself. Sometimes, the breakthrough doesn't wait on your prayers to get louder. It waits on your willingness to walk toward what's already calling you. Sometimes favor doesn't fall in the familiar, but in the field that's been quietly reserved for you. You don't owe anyone a justification for leaving where you are. You don't need everyone's approval to follow what you already know in your bones. You only need to trust the direction unfolding in front of you, even if the full path isn't clear yet. Destiny is deliberate. It's not random. And the place you're called to already has your name written into its story. The keys you've been carrying won't fit the locks of this old place, because the doors they were meant for are waiting somewhere else. What refused to grow here will flourish there. What felt unseen here will shine there. What resisted you here will welcome you there. And it won't happen because you forced it. It will happen because it was already aligned. You're not just an answer to people. You're an answer to places. The ground itself has been prepared to honor what you bring. All you have to do is step toward it. Because destiny isn't just a whisper in the spirit. It has a map, and you're walking straight into it. There comes a point when the magnitude of what you carry can no longer fit inside to enlarge the place of your tent. Stretch your tent curtains wide. Do not hold back. Lengthen your cords. Strengthen your stakes. Isaiah 54 verse 2. Beloved, that verse isn't just for a page in scripture. It's a mirror to your life right now. You are standing in a moment where God Himself is saying, make room, because what I've planted in you is about to outgrow the walls you've been living in. You've been trying to fold yourself into spaces too small for what heaven has put inside you, like pouring rivers into teacups. You've spent years twisting, shrinking, minimizing just to make others feel comfortable around your calling. But listen, oil wasn't meant to stay trapped in the jar. It was made to pour. The treasure inside you is not ordinary. It carries generations of faith, the kind of prayers that were whispered long before you ever took your first breath. What's inside you has weight, and that's why the ground beneath you feels like it's starting to crack, because it can't hold you anymore. A new place is calling your name now, and it's not asking you to explain yourself or shrink yourself. It's not asking you to apologize for being who you are. That place has been prepared, not to just let you exist, but to pull every ounce of potential out of you. You see, it's like an eagle who's been kept too long in a cage. The cage taught it how to survive, but it never taught it how to soar. You've been fed just enough to stay alive, but you were born to ride the wind. And the Spirit of God is unlocking the door right now, saying, go ahead, stretch those wings. This next sky was made with you in mind. You've been calling the tension in your heart rebellion, but it's not. It's recognition. Your spirit already knows. There's more than this. That restless feeling in your chest, that's heaven saying, the tent you're standing under is too small now, child. Stretch it wide. Don't hold back, because I'm not done with you yet. This is your time to stop mistaking discomfort for disobedience. Stop thinking you're ungrateful just because you can't settle here anymore. You've already outgrown the version of you this room was built for. And hear me, you don't have to force this next thing. You don't have to kick down the door or beg to be noticed. The ground is already shifting to meet you. The walls are already being torn down. The table has already been set. God is preparing a land that doesn't just tolerate you, it celebrates you. And when you arrive, you won't have to convince it. You'll just step into it and know, this is where my roots belong. So go ahead and loosen your grip on the old. The new has been waiting longer than you know. The place you've been taught you to endure storms and stand firm. It forged resilience. It taught you to keep walking even when the path seemed impossible. But it was only ever meant to prepare you, not to keep you. The chapter ahead isn't just safer, it's catalytic. It won't just tolerate your potential. It will stretch it to its full measure. This next step isn't just about relocation. It's about a deeper level of responsibility that matches what you've become. You won't need to convince anyone of your worth, because the atmosphere itself will bear witness to it. The weight of your obedience will speak louder than any introduction. Divine positioning accomplishes what human strategy never could. In the right space, even strangers will recognize you before you utter a word. Sometimes doors have been held shut, not because you were unprepared, but because the ground itself was still being tilled, cleared, and ready to receive you. But now the timing is no longer waiting, it's aligned. Don't be surprised when others stare in awe at how quickly things begin to move. Don't be startled when rooms open without you knocking. That's not arrogance. That's what it looks like when placement meets preparation. You're not overconfident. You're simply aware of what's been placed in your hands. What lies ahead doesn't just elevate you. It fulfills what was spoken over you long before you understood it. This is the space where your voice will resonate. Your prayers will cut through the atmosphere, and your presence will shift dynamics without explanation. Be ready. What you carry was never meant to be hidden under the weight of doubt or diminished by the opinions of others. It's time for it to stand in full view, to be released where it can finally breathe. The ground has been prepared, and so have you. Make your impact eternal. Join now and be a light in someone's darkness. It's no accident you've noticed how some places seem to drain the life out of you, while others awaken something fierce and alive within you. Some rooms weigh you down as if the air itself resists you, and others feel like they were carved just to hold your presence. That isn't your imagination. That's your spirit discerning what your mind hasn't yet named. It's the recognition of where your essence belongs, where you've been served its season, but it no longer echoes the truth of who you've become. You're not restless because you're ungrateful. You're restless because you've outgrown what was meant only to shape you, not to keep you. The soil beneath you no longer speaks to your roots, and your branches are reaching for a sky the old space can't offer. That's why you're being guided toward a place that doesn't reflect your scars or your struggle, but your strength. A terrain, both seen and unseen, already tuned to what you carry. And when you arrive there, the atmosphere will feel like it remembers you. You'll breathe differently. You'll move with ease. You'll feel the current shift as though you've finally stepped into rhythm with your own name. If your heart overflows with divine love, now is the moment to let it shine. Click the super thank you button on YouTube and give $50 or more to help carry God's light to others. Your gift will bless not only your life, but countless others. You are part of His sacred plan. Your kindness may be the answer to someone's prayer. Share your blessings and honor His kingdom. May His grace guide you always. This new space won't demand you prove yourself. You won't need to perform to belong. You'll stand, and that alone will be enough, because it was always waiting for you. You'll realize that the contours of this land were crafted to mirror what was hidden in you all along. It won't just make room for you. It will call you forward. It will ignite what the last place merely endured. In what's coming, you won't just endure, you'll expand. You'll rise without resistance because the air itself will cooperate. Where there's alignment, things open without being forced. Connections appear without striving. Opportunities unfold without manipulation because the ground and the gift finally speak the same language. This is more than a change of scenery. It's a recalibration of your entire being, a relocation that aligns heaven's timing with your next step. You're not simply moving. You're entering a zone where your spirit can finally breathe in harmony with what you're here to do. That discomfort you felt lately isn't failure. It's a signal. The friction was never punishment. It was misalignment. And the one who shaped you refuses to let you stay silent in a space that can't resonate with your sound. Now you're being planted where your roots will finally be recognized. You're being surrounded by people who reflect your growth instead of resisting it. You're being called to stand in a place that doesn't drain you, but draws the best of you forward. What you carry was never meant to wither in unfamiliar soil. And now the ground that's been waiting is ready. This isn't just relocation, it's restoration. And it changes everything. You've spent enough time believing that every inch of progress must come at the cost of your peace. You've worn yourself thin just to feel like you belonged, to keep doors open, to hold your place in rooms that could never really hold you. You've pushed so hard just to feel noticed, just to make it work, and it left you tired. But hear this. What drained you before was only ever preparation, not a prophecy of what's ahead. What's next has already been crafted for you, waiting quietly while you were being ready to walk into it. You won't have to claw your way into what was written, with your name woven into it. What's coming wasn't stitched together at the last minute. It's been fully formed and patiently awaiting your arrival. The conditions have shifted. The timing has ripened. The space is in order. You're not stepping into chaos. You're stepping into intentionality. This time, you won't need to chase favor or force recognition. Your name is already on the wind. Rooms you've never seen are already whispering about you. Opportunities you never asked for are already opening. Not because of how loudly you hustled, but because you've been marked by something deeper. The old grind to prove yourself is over. What's ahead already knows who you are. The new place doesn't need convincing. It has been waiting for someone who carries the clarity, the courage, and the light you bring. The environment itself will feel alive with your arrival. The atmosphere will meet you, ready, because it was shaped to fit you perfectly. This is what it looks like when placement is divine. When you are moved, it's never just your body that's relocated. It's favor, provision, and connection that are already flowing ahead of you. You are not walking into the unknown. You are walking towards something fully orchestrated. Yes, there will still be challenges. Yes, you will still stretch. But you will no longer feel like you're wrestling against the very air around you. Instead of forcing doors to open, they will swing because the keys were already in your hands. Instead of twisting yourself to be accepted, you'll realize the space was designed with your shape in mind. This season comes with ease, not because it's without effort, but because it's without resistance. Here, your heart and the ground beneath you speak the same language. And where purpose meets preparation, everything begins to flow. No more shrinking, no more begging, no more performing. You're about to stand on territory that recognizes you at first sight. And everything, the relationships, the opportunities, the resources, is already in position, waiting for you to step in. Because when you are sent, the place itself is also prepared. And when the ready soul meets the ready land, everything you were promised ignites at once. You are standing in a moment that is larger than what your eyes can see. This is not just a change of scenery or a rearrangement of your surroundings. What's unfolding now reaches far beyond boxes and maps. It is a recalibration of destiny itself. The shift you feel in your bones is heaven orchestrating something so deliberate that the earth must adjust to accommodate it. This is not about leaving something behind. It's about stepping into what has always been waiting. You're not escaping. You're arriving. Every step forward is being guided like a masterstroke on a grand design, placing you exactly where the next chapter of your calling will unlock. The ground you're headed to has been waiting for your presence, as though it was written to respond to you all along. The air there carries your rhythm. The paths there anticipate your footsteps. The space itself seems to lean forward to welcome what you carry. This territory will do what the old could not. It will nourish you, challenge you, reveal dimensions of you that were dormant. The seeds that felt buried before will spring alive here. You won't just manage to get through. You'll find yourself flourishing because the atmosphere is finally aligned with what's inside of you. This is not about ease, it's about resonance. Everything about this place agrees with your assignment, your timing, and your anointing. Make your impact eternal. Join now and be a light in someone's darkness. Here is where something bigger than you begins, where chains hidden in your family line snap, where unseen walls collapse, where the choices you make send shockwaves through generations yet to come. This is the place where what you've carried privately becomes evident publicly, where prayers move faster and doors unlock before you reach them. You've cried for clarity. You've begged for direction. And now heaven answers. This is it. The ground is not random. The move is not optional. The transition is not trivial. You're not being relocated just for convenience. You're being activated, commissioned, and released into what you were built for. What lies ahead isn't confusion. It's intentional brilliance. The pieces you couldn't see before are falling into place now. Hidden alliances are already forming. People you've never met are already sensing your approach. Places you've never entered are already echoing your name. What was promised has already been announced in the unseen, and the earth is about to respond to that announcement through you.